Moonbet community. It's Jason back here with the daily picks for Tuesday, May 17th. We've got another three great betting picks for you. Had a big day yesterday, went 2-1, and since starting this, we've done 11 days of picks, and we've only been a losing day once. Most of our days have been 2-1. We've had a couple of 3-0s, and we went 1-2 one time on our very first day. So we are quite hot. 10 days in a row of winning picks, at least two out of three. Yesterday we had an easy one with Richard Gasquet winning 6-4, 6-1. Then we went over to St. James Park where we had actually bet on Newcastle not to lose and they ended up winning 2-0 against Arsenal. And finally, in a huge upset, Sampdoria beat Fiorentina. Our pick was on Fiorentina, so that was quite shocking with everything to play for Fiorentina. But that's the way it goes. So another 2-1 day on our picks and we've got three more great ones for you today. Remember, all of these picks can be made at moonbet.io. Not only can you bet with all of your favorite cryptocurrencies, but all new players receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $250 on their first deposit. So if you put in $20, you'll get a free $20. If you put in $250, you'll get a free $250. And that is bonus funds directly into your account right away. No waiting, no unlocking, no rake back, anything like that. You can find out all the terms and conditions at moonbet.io/promotions. There are not many terms and conditions. A lot of players do roll over the bonus because they are not so hard, most notably a 15 times rollover, which is very achievable, especially in the sportsbook. So without further ado, let's get into three of our betting picks for today. Once again, we've got a tennis match, a soccer match in Europe, and then an NBA playoffs match. Great to have the NBA playoffs back after a few days off. So for our first bet, we are going to ATP Geneva again. Yesterday we had Gasquet to win, like I mentioned. Today we are going to go with Fabio Fognini to beat Thanasi Kokkinakis. I really like this play because, as we all know, Fognini can be a little bit erratic, a little bit wild, a little bit crazy, but he is a clay court master. I mean, he's great on clay. Just last week in Rome, he managed to beat an although injured Dominic Thiem, and he had a very close match, a three-set match, which he ultimately lost to top 10 player Yannick Sinner. So obviously he is still adapt. He still has his game on clay. He's been middling in these clay court tournaments, but he hasn't lost in the first round. He's been doing quite all right. And on the other hand, we have the Australian Thanasi Kokkinakis, who's a really fun player to watch, especially in doubles, and seems to be focusing more on doubles now with Nick Kyrgios. Last week in Rome, he lost his first round matchup to Laszlo Djere in straight sets, and he in fact has not won a clay court match in over a year, and that was in a challenger. So he hasn't had an ATP win on clay in over a year. Even in his last year at the French Open, he lost his first round of qualifying against Mackenzie McDonald in straight sets. Um, Never so happy about betting on Fognini pre-match unless we see his temperament. But it seems like this year he's pretty chill. He's not taking things so seriously. And although that could be bad for some players, with Fognini, it's usually better if he's just allowing his game to flow. He's not getting angry. He's not getting upset. And on the other hand, we have Kokkinakis, who's most likely just using this as a little bit of a tune-up for the French Open. So if he can play today, he's only had one match on clay this season, so probably just to run around, get the feel of the clay before heading to Paris. So we think that should be a rather straightforward victory for Fognini. So we're going to go with that one at a nice 1.64 odds. Usually like that because it also indicates to us that the bookmakers think that Fognini is the favorite. Obviously, with Fognini, there's always a chance that he goes a little bit off course mentally, but we'll take a punt on him. Next, we go over to the Premier League, the only Premier League match of the night, and we've got Southampton hosting Liverpool in a very important match, obviously, for Liverpool as they attempt to keep pace with Man City. They need to win this match. If they don't win this match, then the race is over. The match winning odds are about 1.35 to 1.4, so not really worth betting on them in that regard, even though they should win. The handicap at 1.5 is a little bit difficult. One of the reasons is that Liverpool has received quite a few injuries. Obviously, they've got the Champions League coming up, and unfortunately to say it, they know that their very much against the ropes in the Premier League race with Man City up several points going to the last weekend. But basically, they do need a win. They don't have Mo Salah. They don't have Fabinho. They might be missing a few of their defenders. Andy Robertson was getting cramps in the finals, which was only 3 days ago. So it may be possible that Jurgen Klopp rests them. On the other side, Southampton has won only one match in the last six. They're in 14th place, so they're not in the relegation zone. They don't really have much to play for, and they're trying out a lot of their new and younger players, as the teams typically do at the end of the season. And so, one of the reasons why we're making this pick of over 2.5 cards in the match is because Liverpool usually doesn't get too many cards unless they're playing, matches against Man City or these tight matches with a lot of passion. In these types of games, they usually don't. But we're going to see a lot of changes. We're going to see a lot of the young players. Klopp doesn't really want to risk all his first team players getting injured before the very important Champions League final, which is their big goal at the moment. So we're going to see Curtis Jones most likely playing in midfield. We're going to see Joe Gomez. We're going to see Simicast playing. So all these players, A, they don't have any cards accumulated, so they're not worried about missing another match, perhaps. And B, this combined with the fact that Southampton will be playing a lot of young players, um, to see only 3 cards in a match is not so difficult. Of course, somebody can just make a little bit of a silly mistake, or one of the defenders gets beat and they just, pull a jersey. So, we believe that 2.5 is a pretty low number. I thought it might have been 3.5 where it gets a little bit tight. But for them to just get 3 overall cards in the match, we're going to take it. A lot of young, inexperienced, most likely nervous players, especially on the Southampton side, playing at home in front of Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Obviously, being the only match, this is going to be, televised, the most watched football match of the day. So, this usually ends up to some loose tackles or somebody getting beat and having to take a yellow card. So over 2.5 cards at 1.64. First time we've made a cards bookings bet on this channel, and we'll see how it goes. And finally, we are going to head to the NBA playoffs in what should be a very good series and a repeat of the 2020 series, in which Miami won against Boston to make the NBA Finals. So heading into this matchup, we can see that Boston actually won the season series 2-1. But this game is going to be played in Miami, so they do have the bit of the home court advantage. Um, Another big question mark, although Miami is missing Kyle Lowry, they were without him in the last series and they actually went 4-0 without him, and they went 0-2 when he tried to play while he was still injured. So smartfully, they are resting him at the moment. But Marcus Smart is actually injured. He's questionable with an ankle injury, so we're not sure if we're going to see him. That would be a big blow to Boston. Obviously, not only is he a scoring presence, but he's able to move the ball around, which when you have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, their defense, their ability to close down on players, especially like Jason Tatum, it is going to cause a lot of problems for the Boston offense. I mean, their defense is just so good. Another reason why I like this pick is because Boston won their last 2 games against Milwaukee because they completely destroyed them in the 3-point shooting category. Well, that's likely not to be the case today. Miami is the best 3-point shooting team in the league, so if they're able to at least keep pace, or most likely, do better than Boston in the 3-point statistics, they should be able to pull out the win. And finally, a very interesting stat that I found is that Miami this season are 19-6 when they have the rest day advantage. So if they've had more days of rest than their opponents, they're winning at 19-6. While the Celtics, when they have the rest disadvantage, are 10-12. So they're under 500, while Miami is winning about 70% of their games. And of course, as we know, Boston had to go to a game 7. So not only are they tired, they have to travel to Miami. They don't get so much time. And also Eric Spoelstra, who's one of the best coaches, of all time at this point. We can put him up there with. He has time to develop a strategy. He has extra time to prepare his players, to look at what was working that Milwaukee was doing so well against Boston to frustrate them to get to 7 games, and how Boston was able to overcome that. So we think that it was only a 1.5 or 2 spread depending on where you looked, but we're going to take them on the money line. It could be a close game, but do think that Boston is going to be a little bit fatigued, a little less prepared than Miami, just coming off the win, having to travel. We're going to go with the Heat money line at a very nice 1.79. Hopefully they can pick up the win. The last few times we bet on the Heat, they came through for us, so really like that. So those are our three picks for the day. Comment and like below if you have any picks that you think that we should drop or what your picks are. And once again, remember that you can make these picks at moonbet.io, the crypto sportsbook and casino, and every single new player receives a $250 betting bonus, up to $250 betting bonus based on 100% of your first deposit. You can make deposits in Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Dogecoin, USDT, whatever you like. Directly, the deposits are instant. There's no KYC to start, so you can start playing immediately. And if you need to do KYC later on, you will be asked for that. But you can start playing, you get your bonus right away, and you can make these bets. We're on a heater, 10-day winning streak. So, hit us up in the comments. Let us know if you've been following and betting. And good luck. Talk to you guys tomorrow.